Ah, France. Some would say the dog poop capital of the world. It's kind of our unofficial brand for cities. I mean, the French had to create a superstition that stepping on a dog crap with your left foot brings good luck. Personally, I think stepping in dog crap is unlucky no matter which foot it is. I'm Doug Kloshvari, and before you think I'm a dog-hating, freedom fry-loving French basher, know that besides being a climate change specialist, I am also French. I am also French. I spend a good part of the year living in this amazing country, and I have not one, but two dogs that generate a lot of poops. But I've stepped in enough doggy dungs during my French tenure to say I wouldn't want to increase anyone else's luck with my pooch's poops. Je ramasse toujours. I am always picking them up. Now, anyone that knows me can probably attest that I'm not one who's afraid to get his hands dirty. But I really prefer not getting doggy dew on it. And like too many other responsible dog owners, it's happened to me.
Probably, something yucky touched me. Oh, gross, gross, gross.
Yep, it's really awful. And this is why I care very much about the quality of dog poop bags and not just about its environmental impact. After all, the most environmentally friendly thing would just be to not have a dog at all. But then who'd clean all my dishes and save on all that hot water? Well, let's just skip the judgment of whether to get dogs and focus on minimizing the environmental impact of an essential part of having dogs, picking up their waste. Specifically in this climate complaints episode, we are addressing a complaint we received about the greenwashing of dog poop bags. I received a complaint from a dog-owning friend who had a concern about the company Earth Rated portraying their dog poop bags as environmentally friendly. When she first bought them, she thought that the dog poop bags would be good for the planet. But it turns out the bags were just regular polyurethane plastic. Nothing green about them except, well, the color. That's why she stopped buying them, because it seemed like blatant greenwashing to her. She did note that they now use 65% recycled plastic, and I confirmed based on their company's press release that they made that change to partially recycled plastic bags in 2023. But the point is that she, and presumably others, didn't buy these dog poop bags just because the brand name and packaging alone seemed eco-friendly. She wanted the product itself to be good for the environment. She added that in the era of compostable and 100% recycled plastic bags everywhere, it felt disingenuous to her that this Uber Green branded packaging contains a product that seems like it really isn't living up to its name, Earth Rated. So her complaint raises a few questions. Is Earth Rated's product as green as it could be? And what kind of dog poop bag, if any, would be better from a climate perspective? Specifically, it made me wonder, are there materials that are better for the climate that we could be making these dog poop bags out of? And teaser, the answer will probably surprise you. Now, if making normal products better for the environment has trade-offs and pitfalls, dog poop bags are doubly complicated. First of all, dog feces itself is a pollutant that should be picked up. It can contaminate our waterways and leave our sidewalks a disgusting minefield of poo particles that get tracked into our stores, offices, and homes. But now that you've decided that it's important to pick up after your dog, what are the impacts of doing the responsible thing? There are about 100 million dogs in North America, and the EU has about the same number. These hounds are pooping probably 2 to 3 times per day on average, so that's a lot of crap. Not all of it gets picked up, but the amount that does mostly gets buried in landfills, where it'll decompose without oxygen and generate methane, a greenhouse gas 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide. But you also need to consider the greenhouse gas emissions associated with making the millions of bags used to pick up the poop. And these bags are single use. I mean, I certainly hope so. So let's talk about the relative carbon emissions from making different poop bag materials. Obviously, the standard poop bag is made from polyethylene that is derived from fossil fuels. It can be either virgin plastic or made from all or at least some recycled plastic, like the 65% recycled plastic that Earth Rated uses. Moving away from plastics, some brands now offer plastic-free, grease-resistant paper sheets and paper bags. And perhaps you'd expect lower emissions than traditional polyethylene plastic bags. But paper requires a lot of energy and water to produce. In this context, paper's carbon footprint is about 2 to 4 times higher than plastic. And the poopy paper will break down too, and in a landfill, give off a little bit of methane. They could theoretically be composted, but that depends on the composting facilities in your area. Speaking of compostable, there are two types of compostable biofilm bags, the first of which is made from PLA, or starch. These require a lot of resources to make. Growing crops like corn or potatoes, fermenting them, processing the polymers, it's energy intensive. These compostable bags generate almost double the emissions of regular plastic to produce. And they need to be composted in an industrial facility, which raises its own issues we will discuss momentarily. But first I want to mention PHA, polyhydroxyacrylonates. Don't know why they shortened that to PHA, but fine, we'll just say PHA. PHA is an exciting material that's made by bacterial fermentation in natural feedstocks in a bioreactor. It costs at least 3 times as much as a regular plastic bag because this tech hasn't scaled. But you can turn things like waste cooking oil into a bioplastic poop bag that would easily break down in soil, water, even your backyard compost, as opposed to PLA that requires an industrial composting facility. But whether or not a bioplastic bag is actually composted is the million-ton question, because this affects how much greenhouse gas is released into the atmosphere, both from the bag and the feces it contains. That's because even if you could find a composting receptacle on your walk, most composting facilities don't accept pet waste. It's considered a pathogen risk due to parasites and bacteria. And while pathogens can be killed by industrial composting that maintains temperatures over 55 degrees Celsius for multiple days, not every facility can consistently achieve those conditions. So out of an abundance of caution, or maybe because it's just easier to say no, pet waste can still get the boot, even if it doesn't end up on your boots. In other words, a compostable poop bag and its contents might still end up in the landfill, acting a lot like their plastic polyethylene alternative. So if a compostable bag costs more, sometimes emits more greenhouse gases to produce, and can't even be composted as intended, should we really be encouraging companies to switch away from plastic? The answer is absolutely yes. Because it's not just about emissions per bag, it's about breaking our dependence on fossil fuels. Plastic is the oil industry's most profitable product.
That oil money still keeps rolling in.
So awful. And I'm going to dedicate a video just for this question. But the takeaway is if companies like Earth-Rated stopped buying virgin polyethylene plastic from oil companies, we make the fossil fuels less profitable. And assuming they go to compostable material, we are encouraging the scale up of that alternative. This means less drilling, exploration, and investment in fossil fuel infrastructure. Over time, the drop in demand for the most profitable part of oil will accelerate the shift away from fossil fuels. Now, there is another option that also achieves emission reductions and can be done without undue fuss. Make a poop bag from 100% recycled plastic. It cuts emissions, keeps plastic in circulation longer as opposed to being buried in a landfill, and is readily affordable. It's not compostable, but it's a step in the right direction. It helps to reduce the volume of virgin plastic that oil companies profit from. So why hasn't Earth-Rated gone all the way to 100% recycled content? We are certainly going to ask them, but here are some possible reasons. 100% recycled plastic can be more brittle and inconsistent, especially in thin films like dog poop bags. This affects durability. If the bag tears while being pulled from the roll or during use, it could damage the brand's reputation and leave us feeling grossed out with poopy fingers. C'est complètement dégueulasse. Perhaps a 65% blend is a compromise that keeps the bag functional, affordable, and stable on the roll, while still reducing its carbon footprint. But for some Earth-Rated product lines, like the flat-packed grab-and-go or easy-tie handle bags, they do not need to rely on roll tear strength. Second, high-quality recycled polyethylene isn't always reliably available at scale, especially in the quantities that Earth-Rated might need. This wouldn't be Earth-Rated's fault, but we just don't know how much effort they put into finding a good supply, or how much they prioritize price over recycled plastic. And we have reason to be skeptical given that the first iteration was just 100% plastic in a very nice looking box. So what are we going to ask Earth-Rated to do? Well, we're going to ask them to do two things. First, we want them to offer a 100% recycled option for their grab and go and the easy handle poop bags, After all, they should be able to make a bag that doesn't tear if these highly rated brands achieved it. Second, we'd like to ask Earthrated to make a real compostable bag from PHA. Do you have a friend who has a dog and maybe an opinion on this? Please share it with them. And what about you? If you've got a better idea for tackling climate change, whether it's poop related or not, submit your own complaint at climatecomplaints.com. Or share this one and add your voice. And like and subscribe to our channel. See you soon.